I watched Washington Huskies wide receiver Denzel Boston's game tape, the more I saw first-round talent and production. The Giants could trade back from 5 or even trade back into the first round and do Jackson Dart in the pass game a solid by drafting this dude. 6'4", 210, shout out to the big receivers out there, 62 catches with 11 touchdowns and a grown man catch radius. I think that he's the ideal target in this draft to pair up with Malik Neighbors and a Wan'Dale Robinson if you re-sign him. You have 2 guys on a rookie deal, and then you got your slot guy coming off of his best season as an NFL receiver. That's one bright future for a young playmaking core. One thing I really like about him is that he's played in an NFL-style system up in Washington. So it shouldn't take him long for him to pick up Matt Nagy's system and to play fast. You're going to need that while Malik Neighbors gets back up to speed. So let's put the tape on. Let's break down how he's that prototypical X-receiver Jackson Dart needs out on the perimeter to try and make this offense a top 10 passing offense in the league in this Blue Rush draft profile. All right, this first play against Rutgers, down 11. Washington needs a big play. Denzel Boston here makes one with a catch and run on a busted coverage. Let's kind of watch the entire play, then we'll go back and we'll break it down. A big knock on this kid, and I'll start with the knock, is he doesn't have blazing speed and he's not elusive. He doesn't get that much yak, but you see him be able to kind of put his foot into the ground, break a tackle, and then make Rutgers pay for the busted coverage. He is going to make a lot of money if he performs well and runs well at the combine. He could jump into that for sure first round category because of his size, his ability to play the football with the 50-50 ball. He can make himself a lot of money and solidify himself as top 2 to top 3, 4 receiver in this draft class if he runs well. So you see him identify its zone. If it's man, we keep it moving. If it's zone, we sit it down. Sits down right over top of the center, becomes a big target for his quarterback. Catch. And what I like here is he drop steps and gets vertical. A lot of times you'll see a lot of the speed guys can kind of make that J, like Cheetah, Jalen Waddle, Malik Neighbors. They can kind of make that J and use their speed to get the separation and that burst to get themselves the yak. But you see him immediately get vertical. And what that allows him to do now is with his size, 6'4", 210, starting to gain a little bit of momentum, he can run through an arm tackle. Again, a big knock on him is he didn't get that much yak. He was kind of a catch and fall type guy or a contested catch type guy that, that defender was there to make a tackle right when he caught the football. But again, if he could show that he can run well, get some sort of separation and some yak, I think that he's going to solidify himself as one of the top 3 to 4 receivers in this draft class. Let's watch it again. You see him go on the contact with the corner. Just easy route. Nothing special about this route. I just wanted to highlight. Does have a little bit of burner there. Little bit of jets there. All right, let's go next play because this is where he is going to make his money, especially if he gets drafted to come to the New York Football Giants. Where did the Giants have trouble with last season? Red zone efficiency, scoring, getting 6 instead of 3 in the red zone. And I know there's this whole anti-campaign against big-bodied 6'4" receivers. But look at this. So he had already scored the touchdown to bring them, down, I guess 11 right now. Now after an 11-play, 64-yard drive, 11 plays, 64 yards, there's no real explosive plays within this drive. You got to put one in the end zone. And on 1st and 10 in the fourth quarter, they go to their guy on a sluggo. Didn't even have to give him much. It was off man, didn't have to give him much. He knows where he has to be. For some reason, this corner is in la-la land. Jump the slant aspect of it, which means that the slant is a part of his game. But now watch here. Playing above the rim. The contested catch factor is where this kid can be money. And when you look at Jackson Dart and how when he threw the football down the field, he was in my opinion, he looked better, was more successful with Lil Jordan Humphrey than what he was with the speed receivers down the football field. And that's because if you can have a contest, if you're a guy that can track the ball, can grab it at its highest point, especially when you're 6'4", you are not giving this corner or this DB much of a chance to make a play on this football. And you see that here. Not only that, he high points it. When he catches it, he rips it away, turns away from the defender, and then little boys him. That right there at Giant Stadium would have MetLife Stadium would have the crowd absolutely turned up. It'd have the Giants offense, who maybe this was after some sort of sudden change. Maybe this was after a big kickoff return. You got to put it in the end zone. You got to get 6 there. And that's exactly what Washington does there by getting the ball to their playmaker. One more look at it. Again, in the receiver room, they may say something about the sluggo wasn't the best route, but he didn't have to give him much. Would like to give a little head back to the quarterback, show a little bit more with the shoulders. All right, I'll take it there. Gave him a little ketchup, a little mustard, a little honey Dijon sauce on it. Gets vertical. And now look at the trajectory of the football. This is what I talk about when it comes to his elite ball tracking. He sees the ball in the air, but now he sees it starting to die, and that's when he starts to gather himself. I wonder if he was a high jumper in high school. I high jumped, and this was the easiest thing for me to do. High jumping translated to the football field when you could put your foot into the ground, and he goes up for the football. Go back and watch a lot of shorter receivers or guys who aren't used to playing above the rim. They fade when it comes to trying to go up for the football. He put that left foot into the ground. You see the ankle flexibility? I was about to say ankle flexation. That would have been terrible. Puts that foot into the ground, goes up for the football. It's coming down, but just think, if that ball was thrown anywhere here around the goalpost, look how long his arms are. And now look at when the ball touches, this DB has no shot, because he's high pointing the football. And again, he can go even higher. He can eat with the Eagles. That's what we say. Crows can't go to the altitude that the Eagles hunt and hang out at. And then you see strong hands. Strong hands, big boy. That's why he brought down 11 touchdowns as a junior right here. All right, got another one. Again, fringe red zone. Or green zone, as we call it, because we're going in. We're trying to score. Washington with the fresh, all-black unis. You see him here, inside the numbers. So at the bottom of the numbers, we call this is the split. You know it's go. Look at all the space we have out there. You know we're running some sort of go. You've got the man-to-man coverage. You can tell. You see the safeties in the box. They're playing some sort of robber coverage. I don't know if this is the RPO. I'll watch the play. We'll let it play, but it may be off the RPO. Everybody knows where this ball is going. Quick flash fake. Goes up for the football again. Comes down with it. Again, I could show you more of him running actual routes, curls, digs, kitties, comebacks, all of that. But I mean, if he's going to come to the New York Football Giants, he is going to be a red zone threat. He's going to be the guy, the finisher, the red cherry on top. I would like to see him not get so wide on the press man-to-man, and that is a knock on him. That press, release against press, is something that he struggles with, and it's something that a lot of bigger receivers struggle with because we're so used to just trying to be dominant and trying to use our physicality at the line of scrimmage that a lot of the time we don't bring the foot fire, we don't bring the foot action to get a DB to move or open the gate for us. So that's something that he's going to have to work on once he gets to the NFL. But at the end of the day, again, like I said, like making this move here, that's still too much space for this corner to close off and to close you off towards the sideline. But again, that's something that's going to be worked on. right here. Would like to see him get a little bit more vertical. Now use that big body frame, that 6'4", 210. Dive that right shoulder into this DB. He's a little guy. And at 6'4", you don't have to win over the top. Rarely are we expecting quarterback, especially with his speed, or at this point, lack of, until we see him run. Rarely do we see this ball thrown to where we're going to lead him. Maybe Calvin Johnson, we know that ball is coming up, and we're going to have to play above the rim. So we want to save as much real estate as possible. But watch that. Again, that is what you can't teach. This is why this kid wins that's why his contested catch rate and his 50-50 ball rate is in like the high 60s, low 70s when it comes to coming down and winning with these football. Jackson Dart is going to love throwing this type of football to this type of receiver. Get one more look. I can't see who this team is. They're loading the box. Loading the box. Not even the flash fake off the RPO, but this could be off the RPO. Matt Nagy coming from Kansas City is going to run a lot of these. And anytime you see defenders stacked into that box, you're going to go to your one-on-one with your big body receiver. Amani Toomer did this. You're going to go one-on-one to your big body receiver. In 2007, Eli Manning had the luxury of throwing it up to Plaxico Burress and Amani Toomer. And while Eli Manning has made some of the most precise throws in NFL history and Super Bowl history, he knew he didn't have to be as accurate with a Plax and a Amani Toomer, because all he had to do was just put it up there, put it above the rim for his big boys to go play above the rim. And that's exactly what Jackson Dart would love to do with Denzel Boston. Last but not least, we threw a little wrinkle in there when we're doing these draft profiles. Shout out to our associate producer, Brendan Kramer, who pulls the videos. He threw this in there because he wanted me to show that this kid's got a little OBJ in him, and not from being able to catch a slant at 7 and taking it for 70, but he's got that playmaker factor in terms of throwing the football. You see Odell did this, I believe, in, 2019 against the Carolina Panthers, threw a dime to Saquon Barkley, and Saquon ran in for the touchdown. But just another wrinkle you can throw in with this kid. And when you have a guy like this that's a red zone threat, there's going to be a lot of eyes on him. So, yeah, he didn't run the fade, which is his bread and butter. But just the fact that, watch the defense when he throws it out there. Everybody crashed. Everybody crashed. Why? Because they know this guy, the ball is going to Denzel Boston, and then bam. Just nice, easy flick, easy throw. Tyrone Tracy Jr. or Cam Scatterboo would love to catch a pass like that. Or you can do a giant special, leak Jackson Dart out in the flats or something, and throw a touchdown to him. But yeah, Denzel Boston definitely is going to have the ability to climb the ranks if he runs well at his pro day, or even at the combine. But I think that this guy would be a great target for Jackson Dart and great fit to a Matt Nagy offense. See a little Odell, little OBJ in there with the reverse pass. But when I look at this tape, and I hope you guys saw this as well, I think about the endless opportunities for this kid in the red zone. I said it earlier, 11 touchdowns in his junior season. I need you to think jump balls and back shoulder fades. If this kid's on the field, the Giants' red zone efficiency should be a lot better. And also, to use as a comparison, I think this draft class is Drake London. Matt Nagy could use him in the RPO game, and he can throw the football down the field to him. He's got elite ball tracking, and he can win the 50-50 balls down the field. You don't have to be a speed demon to be a vertical threat. But I think his biggest impact for the Giants' passing offense is going to be on third down. He absolutely feasts and eats in that 15 to 25-yard range. So there's no need for Joe Shane and John Harbaugh to try and grab him with the 5th overall pick. I think that'll be a little bit of reach because he's going to be there later in the first round. There's no need to gamble and hope that he falls to 37 because this kid has the skill sets that make it worth trading back into the first round to grab another weapon. You saw the tape.